Buongiorno and welcome back to our new course, Italian for Beginners, which is, as the title says, Italian for people who have never studied the language before, or those who have just started and maybe want to practice a little bit more, or just saying it again in order to remember or revise whatever they're doing. This is Lezione 3, lesson 3. So do follow it from the very beginning because there is uh, not a pattern, but there is a certain progress to the lessons, starting from obviously more basic and easy, and then growing gradually and adding to that. So today, lezione 3, we are going to do greetings, how to greet somebody in Italian. We have done a little bit of grammar, a little bit of word order and using verbs, asking questions, answering in the previous lessons, lezione 1 and lezione 2. Today, maybe for a little break as well, we have something a little bit easier, just words to remember, to memorize, nothing really to think about, just really memorizing, which is not that easy either, unfortunately. Anyway, let's see the documents that I have prepared with the greetings that we are going to use. There they are. Yeah. So the way we greet or say hello, say goodbye in Italian in two different ways. There is the formal and the informal. Before I forget, I have forgotten, obviously, I didn't think about it. Salutare. Salutare means to greet or to say hello, to say goodbye. Salutare. It does look like a bit like to salute. So yes, salutare, to greet, to say hello, to say goodbye, according to the context you have. As I was saying, we have a formal way to greet, and we have an informal way to greet. It really is like in English, you can say hello, good evening, good morning, or you can just say hi. You can say goodbye, or you can just say bye, depending on the how much or how well you know somebody. Right, so starting from the formal, which is what you would use if you visit Italy or you go to a restaurant, hotel, you start for whatever reason talking to somebody that you don't know. This is what you're going to use. So, buongiorno. Buongiorno. I'm sure you've heard it many times. And also, it's very similar to French, to the bonjour in French. Buongiorno, literally, you are saying good day. So you can actually use it the whole day. It's like the good day in Australia. It does cover the morning, the afternoon, and the early evening, depending on the season as well. And then we don't really say good afternoon, which would be buon pomeriggio. We don't say it. As I said, giorno covers the whole day. There is a little difference in use, apparently. In the north, they start saying buonasera after lunch. Instead, in the south, people say buongiorno also after lunch. And as I said, in the very early evening, when it's still daylight, it doesn't make sense if it's not daylight, really. So instead, for the evening, or if you are in the north, probably also after lunch, we say buona sera. good evening. So giorno is day. Remember, it is not morning. And instead, sera is evening. Buonasera. You can also say buonanotte. Buonanotte is good night when, obviously, for example, you're leaving a place and it's a little bit later in the evening. Also, when you're going to bed and you're wishing everyone good night. So this one is mainly, especially this buongiorno and buonasera is when you meet somebody, when you say hello to somebody. Buonanotte is when you're wishing a good night. So normally when you're leaving a place or when you're just going to bed, you're wishing good night to family and friends. To these ones, the informal, when you meet somebody that you know very well, so friends, family, to say hi, basically, you just say ciao. Any time of the day, like in English. When you are leaving, in the informal way, you still say ciao, which is bye. So it does mean hi and bye. Just one word for two is good, yeah. You only have to learn one word instead of many. Instead, in the formal way, when we are leaving, so in order to say goodbye, again, I'm thinking about a context where you are in a restaurant or any venue, really, a hotel or group of people that you know. If you are saying goodbye, you say arrivederci, which means literally see each other again. And then there is also another option, which should be arrivederla. Arrivederla, it sounds a little bit more formal in general. Arrivederla is when you are saying goodbye to one person only, formally. So this is the one they use here the least, because arrivederci is a little bit more, you can use it in different situations, different contexts. So as we said, on the left, we have formal. On the right, we have informal. More and more, personally, I don't like it very much, but more and more people tend to use the informal way to address people in an informal context, say. So even in a supermarket or in places like trades and things like that, not in more formal, official situation. If you go to an office, for example, not there, but in general, people are starting to use the informal ciao. A neutral one, a neutral greeting is salve, which is a bit like a hello. So you can use it in general, maybe when you don't know what to say. Am I going to be formal or informal? Just go for salve if you want. Or the best thing to do is just to follow whatever other people do, whatever they say. If they're being formal, just, go with that. If they say ciao, then say ciao as well. And don't worry, it is not rude to get it wrong. It's really never rude. People, too many, I think, especially maybe British people. I don't know about other countries, but they're always worried that they're going to be rude. Instead, I don't worry about that. I don't think the Italians. Oh, the light just go for a minute. I don't think the Italians get offended for things like that. You have to do a lot more, a lot worse to get an Italian offended. So what can you ask, or normally what does one ask when they're greeting, after they greet somebody, you can ask, how are you? Again, there is a formal and an informal way to ask. The very first one is the formal. Come sta? You can see the difference in the endings. The answer would be sto bene, I am well. Sto bene, grazie. E lei? I am well, thanks. And you? So this is what you would use in a formal situation. Come sta? How are you? Sto bene, grazie. I am well, thanks. E lei? And you? This is formal. The informal, come stai? So you need to tune your ear really to catch these differences in sound. This is sta, this one is stai. Do pronounce it, otherwise you're saying something different. Come stai? How are you? Sto bene, grazie. E tu? I am well, thanks. And you? So as you can see, the answer, obviously, when you're talking to you about yourself, I am well, thanks. There is no difference between formal and informal. The difference is when you're asking, how are you? What about you? So lei is the formal, tu is the informal. For now, just take it as it is without asking yourselves what. That's how it is. Just learn it. And by the way, we are using the verb stare. Stare literally means to stay. However, it can also be translated with to be in very few specific expressions or cases, and this is one of them. When you're asking somebody how they are, we use stare, literally to stay. We don't use to be, which is instead essere. These are some of the things that it's better to just learn as they are without asking yourselves or questions and making things complicated unnecessarily. Separately, I will cover the formal and informal way to talk to somebody, but this is not the occasion. These are just the greetings. I'm going to leave you, but before you will also see these words, buongiorno, buonasera, buonanotte, all in one. So without the space in between. Remember that when you see this attached, I know sometimes some people pronounce it differently, not Italians, I'm not talking about Italians. Some students tend automatically to pronounce it differently. This is buonasera with a s, no other sounds. I'm not going to mention other sounds because I don't want to put it in your mind if you don't have it in your mind. Buonasera, the pronunciation is just the same. I'm going to pronounce them again. Buongiorno, buonasera, buonanotte, arrivederci, arrivederla, salve. Ciao. Come sta? Sto bene, grazie. E lei? Come stai? Sto bene, grazie. E tu? So these are the greetings in Italian. So this is just not grammar, finally, not grammar, just words to learn and memorize. I'll take this opportunity to thank you for subscribing, liking the videos, sharing them with whoever may benefit from them. And please feel free to write a comment, to ask questions if something is not clear. And I am always very happy to actually to upload a whole video answering certain questions, especially if they are the same questions from different people, or if it is a question which can benefit others or most. So I'm very happy to, as I said, to make and upload a video just for that. Also do click on the notification bell so you get notified when there is a new video. Let me remind you also that I do private tuition, one-to-one, online, obviously, or very small groups, maximum 3, and people who know each other. Yes, it's better to really to do something like that. The friends, family, they want to learn together. One obviously is always better for even for the student. Anyway, if you are interested, do contact me and we can have a chat about it. So this was Lezione 3, lesson 3 on the Italian course for beginners. And I will see you on our next lesson, which will be Lezione 4, lesson 4. Arrivederci, ciao!